Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. So the last video we went over making a tubular subframe for the Audi CQ, Coupe Quattro, abbreviation CQ, makes sense. So now the next stage I'm going to work on is like really cleaning up that engine bay in the Pearl CQ. I have decided what I'm going to do for the Pearl CQ up in episode 3, 4, somewhere around there. I introduced the Pearl CQ and kind of put it up to you guys to let me know what you guys think I should do with it. The options kind of were an 07K swap, much like a Audi, an LS swap. That was more of a joke than realistically, but we did get some votes on that, so it's out there. So I think what I'm going to do, I know what I'm going to do, is I'm going to move the 07K that's got all the really nice bolt-on stuff, valve cover, water outlets, alternator, relocation, all that stuff on it, with the 07K over to the Pearl CQ. This time, it's going to be boosted. It's got to be boosted. So I really want to perfect that swap. Obviously with the subframe and everything, these are things that I'm going to try to put out in the market so other people can do these. I don't want to do it to make a bunch of money. I just want to do it so that people can do this swap with more ease and not costing just a ridiculous amount. That's the goal. So also with the Pearl CQ 07K swap, I also want to do the 6-speed changeover on that. I'm going to do pretty much full interior, probably not carpet, but Dynomat type stuff. But pretty much full interior. Rear seat's still up for debate. I don't know, we'll figure that out. I want to make it more of a car show car. The big goal is to drive this thing to SEMA. That's the goal. So I want this to be comfortable to drive that very long distance. It's like 22, 24 hours from my location in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So that's the goal. So I need to keep that in mind as I'm swapping this all over and doing the build, so that it's very ergonomical and comfortable. Also, that way it can be a car show car that I can take my wife, my kids to a car show and have fun locally or, somewhat of a distance. So that's the goal. So I'm going to start, I've already started. I'm going to start really cleaning up the engine bay. And this time, unlike Audi Coupe Quattro build, I am really going to focus on keeping the camera on. So whether that's time lapses or stopping and talking about specific stuff, I'm going to try my best. So if you guys can also hit the like, subscribe button and let me know that that is what you want to see, and that'd be great. Also, hit up the comments and let me know, hey, I want to specifically see this, or hey, I got a question on that. I'm always answering in the comments. So, or slide in my DMs on Instagram or Facebook, City Neck Racing. Links are all in the description, etc., etc. You can find it. I know you can. So, let's get to the engine bay cleanup. So I've already started pulling the power steering pump off and the lines that do that. I'm going to pull the rack out. It's going to make it a lot easier to get the wiring harness out, because the wire harness is through the bulkhead behind there. So that's not very friendly to try to get that all done with the rack there. So I'm going to take the rack out. Probably going to take the remaining of the brake booster out, because I don't want to use that system. It protrudes way too long, makes the I would have to reinvent the wheel again on the intake, and I just like the setup I have. So I'm gonna use interior floor mount pedal system. I'm gonna change the floor mount this time because the hanging system was a bit of a task to do on Audi. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna move to the removing the AC fully. It's mainly gone. The evaporator core and everything's still in there. Gonna get that out of there. There's, as much as I'm saying that this is gonna be a show car deal and a driver and a long tripper, I still refuse to do AC. I have 2 windows and a sunroof that can cool me down just as well. After that, I'm gonna move to the rear subframe and gonna take that out and contemplate what I do with that. Make another tubular or make a trip to the sandblaster, clean it up, and get it powder coated so that it's good for the trips needed. So let's get into it, guys. Guys and girls. Thanks for following along. Let's go. Alright, we gotta get that steering shaft disconnected. I already got the 2 bolts out. Right there. And I should just pull all the way through that grommet, and then I'll disconnect it when I get it all the way out. Just be easier once I get it all disconnected. But dang, look at all this wiring. Now I remember why I deleted all this wiring in the red Coupe Quattro named Audi. It's just a lot of wiring, but Audi doesn't have a lot of body interior stuff, so this one's gonna have a lot of body and interior stuff. So I'm gonna have to just clean this all up and deal with it. Oh man, everything just... They definitely didn't really have much for CAN bus wiring back then. It's a mess. That's just the summary of it. It's a mess. So now I gotta go inside underneath the dash and try to unplug and then pull stuff through. I think you guys got the gist of it, that it's just a lot of unplugging, disconnecting, snaking things through, etc., etc. So let's move on to the next thing. Whew! Alright, so I got the dash out. I just wanted to stop and show you guys this. It's kind of crazy. So, this is just the dash to the fuse box wiring. This is not the ECM or nothing to do with the engine, nothing. It's just for the controls on the dash and the gauge cluster. I mean, this is just connector after connector after connector after connector. And I get why they did it. I mean, that was the technology back then. You run everything on a relay. But also, for today's cars, everybody complains about there being 1,000 modules. Well, I'd rather have the 1,000 modules instead of 1,000 miles of freaking wires. And it ain't even in there organized. It's a mess. Straight up mess. I mean, there's no real great way to organize it all. It's just a mess. Alright, so this is the fuse box side and relay box side, relay carrier, whatever you want to call it. So that's where I had to disconnect all the stuff. And there's still a bunch connected because obviously it's still got to go to the other components. I mean, this big stack just is for the rear of the car. So again, I'd rather have 1,000 joules instead of 1,000 miles of wire. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff kind of cleaned up and organized for the most part. Still have to do some more cleaning up and organizing, but let's kind of look at what we got going on. So the engine bay for the most part is completely emptied out. Did some cleaning on it, still need to do some more cleaning. The grime is thick. A lot of oil leaking and hydraulic oil and everything else kind of just building up over the years. Trying to get that off. Let's head to the inside. So the dash is out and pretty much all the wiring that the engine harness brought in is all out. That big rat's nest is still for the body harness side. So I'm actually going to try to keep that. I want to kind of, the last red Audi Coupe Quattro, B naughty, I gutted everything and then I had to redo everything, which it was in a nicer quality of wire and connectors, but it was a lot of work. So I'm going to see if I can keep this one with the stock connectors. So still some stuff to just the black carpeting and tail lights, some modules that I'm not going to use need to be removed. Then I just need to figure out how I'm going to go about prepping it, if it's going to get a full spray or just a repair spray. I'm not much of a body guy, so I'm going to lean on some guys that are body guys within my circle to see what they think should happen. But I mean, from my eyes, when we washed it up, the fenders and everything looked pretty good, minus this chipping here and some chipping there, but no real rust exposure. So I do see some rust here. That seems like some pretty standard Wisconsin stuff right there.